MapSat 1. Right here. I don't know why there's two of them here. They look identical. Launch. Don't have to go back into the VAB. It was, well, maybe I should add more tail fins. That might have helped. But I didn't. Yeah, I could have saved some parts. Fly Navy says you could have saved parts by trying to land it. And it's like, I could have, but I didn't. Alright, we're going to try this again. And go. Put this on MapSat 1. This is MapSat 1B. MapSat 1 is polluting the oceans right now. This is the MapSat 1B. Okay, again, I've been having this tendency to just fall over too quickly. I really want to watch it. Okay, let's keep that on prograde. Okay, here we are. Coming down, heading in the mid-90s. I'm okay with that, but again, what I really want to do is not fall over so quick. So I'm going to take it off the lock to prograde, put it back on lock to prograde, take it off the lock to prograde, put it back on the lock to prograde. Okay, I think it's pretty good now. And I'll keep an eye on inclination here. Inclination's now almost at 60 degrees. I think what I'll do is when the inclination hits 90, just lock this to they put this on orbital, and then that'll be, why not do that? There we go. This is much better now. A little bit steep, but more sane. Okay, here we go. Orbit. There! 90 point, right on 90 degrees there. I love that. Okay. Of course, it's a little bit going sideways in terms of the atmosphere, but oh, my apoapsis is at 90 kilometers. And, well, just in time we've lost it. Okay, so I wasn't paying attention to my apoapsis. We shot right by our target of about 75. And now it's tumbling and bumbling, but it's on its way up. This clearly might have had better design options. I think the center of lift is a little bit too high. I could have played with the tank, fuel configuration things. All the stuff are wouldas and couldas, but I didn't do it. Okay, let's lose the fairings. There we go. And at least now we're in a configuration that looks like we are in control. That's always important. Oh, the might and sight are going. Of course they are. I had that set to go. So they are busily filling up our hard drives. But I want to get our orbit first here. Yeah, our periapsis is very, very into the planet. Negative 567, so we're going to have to start this burn pretty soon. Oh my gosh, I could have used some reaction wheels. We've got to start putting reaction wheels on these things. I only have the small ones, but I could still use them. I just don't, because I'm stubborn. There we go. Okay, we're going to lose that lower stage pretty soon. There we are. And now completely on the little pug. Come on, there. I'm going to up the thrust on this now because we're getting too close. Too close to apoapsis. I need the thrust. Pitching up because we're getting too close to apoapsis. Good, I'm pushing the time to apoapsis away. That's always a good sign. Pitch down. Lock it back on prograde. Start reducing throttle. Just need to get that periapsis above 70. Oh my gosh, I was thinking that I had to deorbit this thing. Of course I don't. I got deorbiting on the brain. Once it's above 70, we're golden. We're good. We got this. There we go. 90 by 71. It ain't pretty, but it's going to work. So let's orient this in a way for the solar panels to be happy. Which is going to be right on that north line. So that's sort of vertical on the screen. There we go. And let's push the 1 action group. There goes our antenna, and that should also be our low res altimeter is going. So that should be hopefully doing this job. Now, our electricity is pinned at 0. So we are generating enough electricity at least to run all the experiments. That's a good thing. In fact, you can go to here too. Notice it says electric charge is perpetual. Let's see what happens as we go through the night side. I just realized too, I should have launched this thing at dawn or dusk, because then I wouldn't have to worry about the night side for a little while. But oh well, I didn't. Still got one more mapping satellite to go. We do. Okay, let's lose the sun. There goes the sun, and what I want to watch is our electricity is going down because we're now running on batteries. But as long as it doesn't hit 0 before we get to the top, we're all good. So it's coming up, coming up, coming up. Still mapping. Well, it's close. Batteries are almost empty, but they're not empty. And sunshine. Oh, we just ran out of electric charge just before the sun. I cut it a little too fine. Will it charge up? Okay, it's going to charge up. So the generation is fine. I could have put on just a little bit more battery power. I don't think I factored in the transmitting and stuff when I was thinking about electricity. Okay, now let's take a look at our SCANsat. This is going to take a little while, but I think it's worthwhile looking at. So here's the map that SCANsat is slowly going to produce. You can see our trajectory projected on there in our polar orbit. We can take that trajectory off, and you can start to see how it's starting to do this map. Scanning as it goes along, just scanning in a band like this, and this is going to be like a black and white low-res altimetry map of Kerbin, which I think is going to be great. And clearly you can see from looking at this, this is going to take a little while for it to do, but is partial transmission on? Oh, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if Kerbalism, Tadeo said, is partial transmission on, and honestly, I'm not sure how that affects Kerbalism. What I think will be an issue is, oh my gosh, see, look at the hard drive. Hard drive is already at 21%. The MITE experiment and the site experiment should be all done, but it's going to take a while for it to transmit all this crap away. Is it filling up that hard drive? Should just... I'm just watching. Yeah, that hard drive. Okay, I think what's going to be more of a limiting factor is hard drive space. Even with the extra probe body and putting both of those up to the maximum, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be running out of hard drive space. And we're going to refresh our map. You can see what I just did there. There we go. We're going to run out of hard drive space. When it runs out of hard drive space, it's going to stop collecting stuff until it transmits away, and then it'll start collecting again. What I think I shall do, I'll show you how there's an automations feature in Kerbalism which is pretty nice. If I go to here, click auto, there we go. If drive is below 10%, what I want you to do is turn off the SCANsat thing. That's really going to be the culprit, isn't it? And if the drive is empty, in other words, empty is it's got more than 85% of it available, then I want you to turn SCANsat back on again. Drive full, turn SCANsat off. How about that? I think these guys aren't generating enough data to be worth it. The MITE's already done. The site is still working. One of those, remember, is biome specific. So it's going to be working for a bit. I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, where's our drive at right now? Our drive is at 8%. So I'm going to go into here and I'm going to turn Did I do this right? Yeah. I'm going to go back to my devices. There we are. And I'm just going to turn SCANsat off for now. Or we'll do this as a test. So I'm going to turn SCANsat off for now because I don't want to fill up that drive. But what it should be doing now is it should be transmitting that junk away. Oh, we're running still. Okay, stop for a second. Let's turn all this off. Get back to automations. Drive full, turn everything off. Actually, I guess the antenna you can turn off too. Oh no, you want to keep that on. Keep transmitting. And then when the drive is empty, we want to turn everything back on again. And put this back on devices. There's a lot, and all this automation will happen in the background too, with us not being here. But what I want to do is just kind of put it to the test. Drive is only 2% of the drive is left available. That ain't pretty. But now you, okay, see how, okay, we're transmitting stuff away. We're now over 12%, and what should have happened is it should have turned stuff on. Okay, oh no, at 85% it turns it back on. So when this gets to 85%, let's actually do this again. Okay, time warping. I'm watching that drive. It's 25% available. When it gets to 85%, it should turn everything back on again. So this is the way we're going to manage our hard drive space. It's kind of unfortunate. Maybe if I put a third probe body on here, I don't know. It's hard to know because it doesn't tell you how much stuff it produces, how much data. Okay, 85%, and now stuff should have turned on there. Am I crazy? On. Back to here. Well, maybe it'll work in the back. Maybe it only works in the background. Drive full, turn everything off. Drive empty, turn everything on. Okay. I think I'm going to leave it this way. Maybe it's only when you're not with the vessel that this automation stuff works. I don't know. But we'll leave it to collect. Let's refresh this. Clearly, our map is going to get kind of sketchy as it turns things on and off again. But that's kind of just the way it's going to be. We're going to have to kind of put up with this. So this is going to take a little while for it to do everything. But it'll work. It'll work. And what I think I'm going to do in the meantime is put up another one. So we're going to go back to the Space Center. Separate probes for separate experiments, said Sadea. That's probably not a bad idea, but kind of did it. Separate probes for separate experiments is probably not a bad idea. Okay, so what we're going to do, this is going to be MapSat 2. And I'm thinking, looking at the time, this might finish it off. I was hoping to get to the moon today, but I don't think that's going to happen. But that's okay. So what we need to do, we're going to remove this. And we're going to replace it with the multispectral scanner. Right there. By the way, if you're worried about, Engineer gives you a nice way. If you're worried about this not being exactly centered, what I can do is if I take Engineer off of Compact and I take a look at torque and notice that that upper stage has 0.05 kilonewton meters of torque on it. That's because of asymmetrical mass. If I just grab this and just start pulling it around, till I get that torque as small as I can get it. There. Now it's at 0. That should now have all the mass centered. So that's a way to make sure you have everything centered the way you want. This has got some textures. Let's put it silver, and then it matches the probe body. As I already have things doing the sight and the mite experiment, what I think I will do is do nothing with these. None. None and none. That will save me that. I'll keep the hard drives. Should I put on a third one? I might put on a third one. Anyway, the one thing about the multispectral analyzer, it's very similar. Best altitude again, 70 kilometers, but it requires daylight for it to run. So this thing's going to map biomes for me, but it only works on the day side of Kerbin. So that's both a kind of a nasty thing. Half the time it's not going to work for me, but it's kind of a good thing in that I don't have to worry about running it with a pile of batteries. So I don't need all the batteries that it's going to have. So that's kind of all right. It doesn't need all the batteries. This thing is generating... Oh, let's simulate this. Boom. And how about the antenna? Should I simulate that? Yes, that's already being simulated. This thing only is 0.83 units of electric charge per second that it's going to be consuming, and it doesn't need to charge up the batteries again on the dark side because it'll all turn off on the dark side by I'm assuming by itself. So what I think I'll do, let's see, 0.83, each of these rows is 0.7. I can lose a whole row here. I think I'm going to. What do I think I'll do? Here's what I'll do. Let's take this whole bit off. See if we can solve... You know what? I don't think... I was about to say this thing will have hard drive issues too, but I'm running less experiments. And let's put some batteries back. Have some batteries. I'm running less experiments, and the scanner will turn off when it's on the night side. So I'm thinking that might be good. Just like that. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. So let's rebuild the fairing. I can see it doesn't need to be as tall. There. And get back into action groups. One, and with one I'm going to turn on this scanner. I guess oh wait, just hit the scanner. Start multispectral analyzer. There we go. It won't automatically turn off because it needs sunlight and it's dark. So wait, I'm saying, and no, the SCANsat modules won't automatically turn off because it needs sunlight and it's dark. Okay, that's good to know. So I'll do the automation thing and have it turn off when it's not in the sunlight using Kerbalism. Okay, so that should be good, that should be good, that should be good. Compact. I got a ton of delta V again. Alright, I'm going to fiddle with the fuel priority to try and... So I want this drain to drain quicker, so I want it to be a higher number. And then this one to drain next. And that one will drain last. So this way it'll drain from the bottom up. That should help with the stability that the other one was having. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything, but I really don't think so. I think I'm ready to do it. I think so. Again, just make sure. No experiments on that, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's save this. I'm going to go brave. Let's launch it. Because it's not that much of a difference. No simulation this time. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And I'm going to do something that I should have done with the previous satellite and I just flat out forgot. Is if I time warp to when the sun comes up. Look at those clouds. It's so nice. And I'm not going to use this button here because it always seems to go a little bit past actual sunrise. I want to do this right at sunrise. Oh, I got 4.5 science. Oh, I'm getting a warning about the batteries. Batteries are back. Keeps killing the time warp because of all this stuff. You can turn off these notifications, by the way. Okay, that's enough. I'll just to show you, if I go to here, where is it? There. If I go to MapSat 1 and I go to config here, there we go. Stop giving me notifications about the battery. I know it's sketchy. Now I can go back to MapSat 2. There we go. Okay, again, I'm going to sunrise. Getting lots of science, though. That's the MITE experiment generating all that science. Oh, I got a radiation scan. I forgot that thing's still working. So we're going straight to sunrise. And what this means is we're going to be at least temporarily in what's called a halo orbit, where we're going to be in the sun the whole way. It doesn't last forever because as Kerbin goes around the sun, the orbit will shift relative to Kerbin, but it will be good for a while anyway. So, SAS on, that's on, that's on, that's on. Let's do this. And again, we're going to launch towards the south. Let it pick up a little bit of speed first. Knock it over just a little bit. Lock that onto prograde. Just kind of let this ride up. I think it's a little bit, going a little bit too far to the west, so we'll knock it back just a little bit. Probably not falling over quick enough either, but this thing's actually a lighter rocket than the last one, and I didn't change the amount of fuel on it, so it honestly should be what was I trying to say? It should be it should have more delta V. I didn't even check, to be quite honest, though. I'm just kind of forcing it, trying to pull that prograde vector a little bit back a bit. I'm just a little bit too far west, but I don't want to go so far that the rocket flips out. How's my inclination doing? 70 degrees, not bad. This time I'm going to watch my apoapsis better too. Doesn't help that these are under different tabs. 83 degrees on inclination. 87 degrees on inclination here. I'm going to cut this throttle in a second. Boom. Okay, 77 kilometers there. 89.4 on the inclination. I'm uber happy with that. That's great. I'm very pleased with that. All right, and yeah, let's time warp up. Hang on to those fairings for a little bit. Let's just put that on there. Okay, lose the fairings. We're almost out of the atmosphere. There we go. You know, it's funny with oh, these aren't clouds. These are like the city lights. They kind of look kind of funny. Towns and cities and stuff. Never knew this continent was so populated. Okay, where are we at? Oh, we're getting pretty close. We're in space now, so let's get ready. Put this down on the horizon. We still have to push up that periapsis a healthy degree. Oh, 30 seconds to apoapsis. Let's punch it. Pitch up a little bit. Next rocket. More thrust. More thrust, damn you. Lock that on prograde. Alright, so just up the little pug engine now to finish off this insertion. But I think things are looking pretty good. Start to reduce thrust here. Let that time to apoapsis get closer. Sure, it's going to be nice to have a biome map. We're definitely going to send one of these to the moon next time. Maybe take that advice and keep the science to separate probes. Okay. Oh, here we go. And just going to finish off. Just waiting for that periapsis to get up to, there it is. There we go. 80 by 77, much better than last time. Again, we'll orient this. I don't know about you, but I always like, I know it's not really up, but I like on the screen everything to be going upwards. So that's for the solar panels. Let's hit 1. And there we go. A little bit of an animation as that thing opens up. And we should be now collecting multispectral analyzer data and collecting science and transmitting said science away. Awesome. Let's get into the automation a little bit, because what I want to do is when... Oh, I'm hitting action groups. What am I doing? No, that's right. Atmo landed, drive empty. Just want to find, there's a shadow. There we go. When I'm in the shadow, I want to turn the SCANsat Mr. Machine off. I want to keep the antenna on. I'm hoping we can transmit stuff away still. And then when we're in the sunlight, we're going to turn it back on again. So hopefully, oh, in the shadow, we're turning it off. There we go. And in the sunlight, we're turning the SCANsat back on again. So hopefully that will take care of the fact that this thing doesn't work at night. But for the first little while, just to show people, I should be in the sunlight the whole way around. See, this is what we call a halo orbit. And I did this because I launched at sunrise. You'll get the same effect if you launch at sunset. And as we go round and round and round, we're never going, we're just basically, if we really zoom out here, if we go, see this from map view, if you look at our orbit's right along the terminator between the night and the light side of Kerbin. So we're just always in the sunshine. So that will help facilitate the early going of this. Unfortunately, it won't stay this way. I guess I could come up here and keep tweaking the orbit, but I just don't want to. SCANsat halted? Did it turn it off? I don't know what you're doing. I'll leave you to your own devices. And again, let's take a look at the map. It's not going to be much, but it's producing it very slowly. There's our altimetry map that's being produced by MapSat number 1. And if we go to map type and hit biome, there is our biome map slowly being generated by this one here. And you can see if you hover over, it tells you what biomes they are. Down there, this is like deserts, and over here there's some grasslands, and then the purple there is some tundra. So really, really super handy to get those biome maps. I love me my SCANsat.